here on Edward Street in St. Thomas, Ontario. We're going to go in and meet Jeanette Miner. She's been running Alexelle Slipcovers Upholstery for 8 years. We're going to go learn about her business, and apparently we've got some projects to do as well. Come on in. All right, says appointment only Jeanette Miner, but I'm here to talk to you about your business, Alexelle Slipcovers Upholstery. I want to know everything, but start with the name. What's the name about?
Oh, well, the name Alexelle is after my girls, Alexandra and Elizabeth.
Okay.
So I thought it would be a great, plus it's in the A's, so it helps bring me to the top of the search list.
There we go. So obviously our show here is to feature dynamic entrepreneurs showing us what they build and make and how they go about business. So the fact that you're already thinking about the directory access, the Googling of your business, that's awesome.
Exactly.
Now you're going to show us around, but tell us just a little bit about what you do here.
So I do slipcovers and upholstery services for homeowners and businesses in the Elgin County and Middlesex area. Outdoor cushions, sofas, chairs, that kind of thing.
Oh, and that kind of thing. And I also believe, we're just on the North Shore of Lake Erie, so I also believe you work on boats too sometimes,
I
right?
do sometimes work on boats.
Okay.
The cushions and that, yeah.
Yeah, but making it safer, more comfortable to be out and about on the water and everything. So and I see a stuffed animal over there. You're not into the stuffed animal game, are you?
I'm not, but my mother-in-law does do the stuffed animals, the nostalgia bears for deceased or for even babies when they're born.
And so tell us a little bit more about that, like in terms of how you came to this business. Like, was this something you dreamt about doing as a little girl? Is it something like? How did it come about that we're sitting here on Edward Street in St. Thomas and you're going to show us exactly what you do?
Actually, I just kind of fell into it. I started helping my aunt with her window covering business at one point, and then I just liked doing it. I was staying home with my babies after I had them, and I just started sewing window coverings with her. And then I just decided to go into my own business, and I did window coverings at first, but then I went to North Carolina to learn how to do slip covers as a part of that. And with the upholstery, I just started small and started working my way up. Decided that I'm not going to do window coverings anymore because my installer retired, and it's just history now.
So is family still involved in the business then, like in terms of that? Like, do you ever lean on your relatives for support? I mean, again, entrepreneurs, you kind of pick up anybody along the way that's going to help elevate what you're trying to do.
Absolutely. So I have my mother-in-law and one of our bestest friends come in and help me do tear downs and sew sometimes, and then my husband helps me with the heavy lifting sometimes, and so it's a huge family affair.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, also as part of that, and maybe on the flip side, like, part of your MO is to give back to our community. I mean, I met Jeanette when we were working in support of the hospital foundation here locally as well. And again, I know we're kind of all sick of talking about the pandemic, but at the start of the pandemic, you were doing some incredible stuff for our community. Tell us about that.
Well, we did nothing but make masks for the first 3 months of the pandemic. It was quite the feat. We decided on a style, and we made, between myself and a couple of other people, just the three of us, we made, I would think, about 2,500 to 3,000 masks altogether, and donating them to the senior centers and to the hospital employees and to the fire department, the police department, that kind of thing, just to make sure that they had their PPE while there was such a shortage.
100%. And I mean, Jeanette's being modest in that sense that every long-term care home in Elgin County and St. Thomas was provided with a mask early in the pandemic when supplies were hard to come by. I know you were part of a team doing some larger stuff, but I mean, I'm super grateful for that. I think that's amazing, obviously, what you do to contribute to our community. Can you show us around and just let us kind of point out some things or whatever about your workshop here?
Absolutely.
Alrighty, I'll follow you.
So this is the entrance. So this is where my clients would come to select their fabrics. I have numerous different types of fabrics, vinyls and regular fabric, plain, patterned, outdoor fabrics, umbrella fabric for the outdoor cushions. Something like this. So we've got plain fabrics, fabrics that coordinate with each other.
And now, Jeanette, what's in this season? What's the fabric du jour?
Well, I actually got these 2 books just the other day. So we've got lots of different. There's just a lot of colors, just a lot of different.
Now, was that brighter than, say, it would have been a
styles
couple
and-
years back?
Yeah. They come out with new fabrics usually every spring and fall. With the pandemic, they hadn't really come out with a lot recently, but they're starting to come out with the new again. So these fabrics, as opposed to this, is an older one. So this is a little more
muted.
and
Okay.
drab
And so you come in, you say you greet people here, but these are all custom solutions, right? There's nothing off the rack. They're choosing their specific fabric.
It's all custom.
And-
Even a slip cover, I have to have the piece here to be able to even just do the slip cover, because I pin fit it right onto the piece to make sure it fits just like a glove.
Okay, so you work, you bring
So,
people in, we consult with them, you determine what the project scope is, and then they probably leave, and we go back here and you work your magic.
That's right.
Alrighty.
That's right. So this is where the magic happens. We've got my industrial machines. So we have a serger and a walking foot machine and a straight stitch machine.
A walking foot machine?
A walking foot machine. So the difference between a walking foot machine and what they call a straight stitch machine is that it helps to guide the fabric a lot better than just pushing it through.
And what would you use that for?
So that is the one I actually used most often, because it works with thicker fabrics and thicker layers.
Okay. So control,
Right.
and obviously
So-
the end result is just more aesthetically pleasing.
absolutely.
When I came in, I was actually talking about some projects I had at home, and I wasn't sure if the furniture was really worth it to salvage in the first place and to make this investment. Now you have a piece over here it looks like you're working on. How would you know, or what are you looking at when you see that to say that piece of furniture, it's well made, it's quality, and we're going to invest in it?
Okay, so the first thing would be, because the customer has had it since '86, we figured out.
Okay.
So it's lasted that long so far, without falling apart, without coming apart, that kind of thing. So you take it apart, and we know that it's really well made, because this isn't regular pine or pine with knots in it. It's put together by screws.
Okay. Not to disparage any of our current furniture builders, but was there, like, in the 80s, like up till the 80s or something like that, was that when, furniture was made a little bit more robustly, or was a mishmash even back
Really
then?
anything that is before that time is usually pretty good, because they didn't really use a lot of pine and big staples back then. They put everything together properly with the screws, because they didn't
More
have the big staple
joinery
guns,
versus- yeah, okay.
right? Yeah, it's the way it's joined together. It's the type of wood that's used, and it's just how solid it feels.
Okay. Okay, so and you'll have, people will have a good gut, or if it's something, hey, this has been from the 70s, that's probably a good indication that it does have the capacity to.
Exactly.
Or it's worthwhile to do it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they get their pieces redone because it means something to them. It was maybe their grandmothers or their great grandmothers, and they just want it just to bring a little bit of new life to it. But it will also sit there and remind them of their loved one.
Awesome. Look at the sentimental business that
exactly.
you're into as well. You must have some great stories with
Plus it's great for recycling. Recycling is the thing these days, right? So
we didn't even touch on that.
it's so
like that's an
great for the
implicit part of the
environment.
business in terms of
Great for the
let's
environment.
keep things around. Let's actually not be creating new every single time.
Landfill and exactly.
Amazing.
So this is put together with a lot of times with the sofa. It's put together with the zigzag springs. This is put together with the coil springs. So what you have to actually do is make sure that they're tied 8 ways, so they give stability when you're sitting down on them.
So, Jeanette, we're going to be making a pillow today. I thought you were going to be doing most of the work, but apparently you want me to do some of this.
You can help.
Okay, so I'm making a line here.
So we're going to do a 10 by 16 pillow, so make a line there, and then you can make a little bit of a line across there.
Okay.
And then what you want to do is turn your ruler, and we'll go to 16, so you can...
So then I would connect that up.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Make a line up there.
Okay.
Right, and then, yeah, there you go,
So
perfect.
we're doing really well so far.
And then cut that out.
Okay. Probably
Okay,
the
very
best.
careful, those are...
Okay, I feel like
Very, very
I
sharp.
Feel, yeah. All right, they feel
Very
sharp.
sharp.
It's a hefty scissor.
Yes.
Okay, and just
Follow the line.
I'm hoping my grade 10 family studies
Your
comes
mom
in.
will be so proud.
Now, what type of fabric is this? What is this? What's the?
This is just a polyester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on the other side. I want to make sure I
Yeah.
get it straight. So back in the 70s, these would probably be a pair of pants, not a pillow.
Yeah.
Come on,
Exactly.
Good. All right.
Exactly.
Oh,
you
my
missed
gosh.
Missed the spot.
You would fire me already.
Boom.
Okay.
All right.
Alrighty.
So then we'll just take it over to the machine
And
here.
again, I'm doing this.
Do you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
I want you to do it because
Okay.
I feel like you're going to mess it up and take way too long. So no pressure, but I'm just
Okay.
going to lurk over your shoulder.
Yep, that's great. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew down either side and leave a little bit of a space to be able to put the pillow form in.
Okay, and you start here. We're starting at the end where it already has that natural fold.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again,
So
what's
this
the
is
what's the name of this machine
This
again?
is very basic. This is called a walking foot
A
machine.
walking foot machine. Okay.
Okay, so you're wanting to back stitch to be able to lock your stitch so it doesn't fall out.
Okay.
You're following the guide, so you know that you're not going to make the stitch bigger, make the seam allowance bigger or smaller than what you want.
Okay.
And then we'll back stitch. Pull her out, and then we'll
And
do
is
the
that
other
kind of
side too.
standard, the kind of the gap that you have, or on the side here? It looks like it's about a quarter of
It
an inch.
depends on if you, sometimes when you put a zipper in, you want to do, I like to do 3/4 of an inch because then when I take it to the serger after, it's a lot easier and makes a nice clean cut.
Okay.
So, but you do, some people do 1/2 inch, some people do 3/4 inch. It's all in their preference, their own preference.
And then that's the reverse. Then is that what that is? Like
That's a
that's
reverse.
the reverse. Alrighty.
Yes.
I feel
So
like I wouldn't
then-
have been as fast as that.
So then, to get nice crisp corners, what you want to do is you fold it one way, fold it the other way, and then you can poke them out, and they come out with nice crisp corners. Do you want to try that?
I did see what you did, and I'm going to try it over here.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So I'm
So you fold it one way, and fold it down the other way where the corner is. And
Did I do it
then
right?
Make sure your hand's inside to bring it out, to hold on to it. Yeah.
oh my gosh, look how pro.
There you go.
Is that
Perfect.
That's
That's
it?
perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Perfect. Turn it all the way in, and
Okay.
you can stick this
You're
in.
gonna be cozy sleep tonight
Yeah.
with the pillows. Alrighty. And then in most cases, do most people want to be able to access the pillow in the sense that they can wash the cover afterwards?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't really care.
Okay.
But if you do, then you would put a zipper in it, which
Alright.
would take a lot longer.
So we're not for today's show, but you
Yeah.
can get zippers. You can get zippers with
Yeah.
Jeanette, Alexa. Can I ask you to do
Yeah.
this because I'm doing a really bad job? We're gonna run out of time in terms of
That's
our
right.
in terms of our show here on
That's
Rogers.
right, we are.
Okay, and from here, would you
from here-
typically be moving back to a machine in terms
So
of?
you can either move back to a machine, or a lot of times I like to hand sew it shut
And why is that?
because it just looks nicer
Okay.
than seeing a stitch there.
Okay, so you're
Then that's
kind of
all you
doing
would-
some internal thing that where
Yeah.
you can't see the stitch and it looks a little bit.
Yeah, so if you do it and you do what they call a ladder stitch,
Okay.
and then you can't even tell the top from the bottom.
Okay. So obviously, you know, as part of this, again, we want to plug your business. We want this show to be good for your business. So how would people find you? How do they reach you? How do they engage? What's the deal?
So they can go onto my website, alexelleslipcovers.com, and they can view a lot of my previous projects and find out on there. There's actually a form they can fill out where they can send me photos, upload photos to the form, and then send it through that way, or they can send me an email to alexelleslipcovers@gmail.com.
Okay, and because this is custom work, like obviously the relationship, the relationship between the client and their expectations and the work you do is super important. How can, you know, someone, you know, interact in the best way possible to make it just the most seamless process?
The easiest way is to just send me a picture of what they want done, and then I can give them a basic estimate right then and there. If it's within their budget,
Okay.
then we set up a time for them to come and pick out some fabrics and go from there.
Amazing. Well, congratulations on again, thank you first and foremost for everything you did, certainly at the start of the pandemic, to keep our community safe. And I think
pleasure.
she deserves all sorts of
It was my
kudos
pleasure.
And a plug for that. But congratulations again on taking what started as, you know, not a hobby, that doesn't be fair to dismiss it like that, but as something that you were doing at home to support your family, to a burgeoning enterprise on Edward Street in St. Thomas. Jeanette already provided you with contact information to get a hold of her business. And thank you so much for having us this morning.
You're very welcome. Thanks for coming.